So I'm here early this morning. Victor, he managed to get here on good time, thankfully, which is great. So it's always good to start early. It does look different today. Yesterday was a brilliant start, but there was like a current going out here. You can see a lot of backwash just moving out, and the fish seem to be sitting at the back there waiting. But anyway, I'm just gonna fish and see how it is. If it gets too big, the forecast has been that the waves come up, I'll just move around to the other side of the island. But I'm fishing with the Longcast Maximal XP this morning. So this has got a casting rating from 60 to 200 grams. So this is ideal for when you want to cast out bigger lures. So I've got my other rod as well. I can set up for casting a little bit lighter lures, but it'll still cast up to that weight. But this one's going to be stronger around the rocks. It's really tricky here. If you do hook something, getting it up, you're going to need as much strength in the rod as I can have, really. So anyway, I'll give it a go. Let's see how it goes. You just never know with fishing. So I've got a pretty long leader here, which is really necessary around these rocks. As long as you can cast with it, it doesn't matter how long, as long as you can cast it, the longer the better for me. And a lot of the time with these top waters, I've got the rod tip up and the leader's not even in the water, so the fish don't see it. This is a 90 gram lure, so I'm using the Maximal. So this is for really targeting fish from the rocks or from the beaches with bigger lures. Really targeting bigger fish in general. Casting heavier lures, so you want to be casting upwards from 60 grams with this one, up to 200 grams. Cast well. One. So I'm going to swap over to this 120 Shad, give this a go for say 10 minutes, and then I'll swap back. It's good to keep swapping the shapes and the colours, just to see if it makes a difference, which it really can do. Often you'll switch over from a different colour or a different lure, and whether it's by chance or not, you could hook into a fish. And it also keeps you really motivated when you're changing the lures. You just, if you're fishing with the same lure for a while and you haven't caught anything, could be nothing wrong at all, but you just got to wait. It does help to change the lure because it gives you a good feeling again that with something new. I would say there's more chance of a jack with this lure, or a snap or something like that. Probably a bit less chance of a rooster because it's subsurface. But I'll just slow it up around the backwash. So this rod's really made for casting these lures out. So 120 grams is well within its range. Okay, something decent, I would say, yeah. Probably a jack, I would say. Yeah, it feels like a jack. Just gonna think where to bring this one in. Definitely glad I've got this Maximal heavy rod on. I'm glad it hasn't gone round the other way over there. It's doing a lot of head shaking. But I'm not in a rush to get it in around these rocks. I'm really gonna thinking where to bring it up. maybe over there would be the best. Oh, don't go around that way. Stop it going around those rocks. Still quite strong. But I can see the leader. To get him out. I fancy going down there. Oh shit. Okay, that's a really good jack. Oh, it's hard to lift actually, to hold him straight. Yeah, it's a good fight. I knew it was a jack, and yeah, he hit this 120 gram shad after I changed it over. I think about third cast in. So as I was saying, it's always well worth swapping them around. Yeah, really pleased with that. So I'm just back from the morning session. Yeah, it was a really fun session today. Turned out better than yesterday, where I lost a big fish, came unhooked. Well, today somehow it managed to stay on, and it really was close, because literally when I got the fish out, the hook dropped out of its mouth when I put it down. So yes, it just doesn't bear thinking about. I don't know if I could have handled losing 2 big fish in 2 days. Thankfully I had my friend Max to help. That's it's a new addition to the Samson Longcast range. It's a Maximal XP. So this one is a heavier rod than the original Longcast, Samson Longcast. The original was cast in 30 grams to 120. I've been using it for 15 and even up to 120. But the Maximal takes off then where that leaves off really. So for bigger lures, it's rated at 60 to 200 grams. So when I'm casting out lures around 90, 120 or so, it's just absolutely ideal for those situations. And also really helped me out today having the strength in the rod, because at one point the jack was going to go around the point, and I managed to stop it, which is really important, to be able to stop a big fish. If you're fishing for hours and you're trying to get into big fish and you finally get one, you don't want to lose it. So you need everything you can in your favor to get it in. So basically, like the other long casts, it's not only the distance that's important, which is very important. When you're off of rocks, you want to get out as far as you can, or you want to be able to cast right along the edges as far as you can, work the lure along the edges. And so it helps not only to get that distance, but to reach out with your rod if you're bringing it along an edge, because a lot of the big fish can be working those areas along in the backwash, along the edges. They'll just, like fish like roosters will just literally patrol up and around islands and rocky headlands. So it was great for working the lures. So it got a nice tip that you could work, especially the bigger lures, which can be difficult to work. Say you're working a popper or something like that, you need the right kind of tip to be able to work those lures, put some action into it. And today, yeah, it really came in handy in landing the fish. it was a little bit difficult to find somewhere to actually land this fish, because there was a kind of a space in front, but there was a rock right in the middle, and the fish just kept going one side or the other of that and then washing back down. And each time it washed back down, it was like less hooked. I could see that, and I was getting a bit worried, so I just I was going to lose it. And also, you've obviously got the line to worry about hitting the rock. So yes, you really need that. I really needed a strong rod to sort of help me land that fish up against the rocks, and I could get down and grab it. But today got really hot, yeah, and ideal for another product on the Samson range. Just going to grab these. I'm actually wearing a pair, and this is another pair. This is a pair of long pants for fishing in. I love using this kind of thing because they're ideal in these hot conditions when you want to keep the sun off. I don't really like to put piles of sunblock on. I always put a bit on my face, but basically I try to cover up as much as I can, put gloves on when the sun's out, and cover my arms, obviously around the neck. And yeah, the only other one is the legs. So we've designed a pair of pants that you can zip off at the bottom, so you can basically turn them into shorts or long pants depending on the conditions. So if there's no need for the sun protection, I can just zip them off and wear them as board shorts, or keep them long if you want the protection from the sun. And also in these tropical places, when I'm waiting in the morning for the boat here, there's tons of sandflies, and yeah, and they get onto you straight away, biting you, and you'll be up in the night itching. So they've been really handy to be covered up just from, you know, obviously mosquito bites, sandflies, stuff like that. So if you're interested in them, check out on the Samson Fishing website. Yeah, you can also find there a few other fishing apparel items like net gaiters, tops, UV tops, that kind of stuff. Ideal for fishing in, you know, these tropical conditions. That's probably it for today, but back out tomorrow morning early. Hopefully Victor or Shumbo will turn up nice and early, get me out to one of the islands. I've just got to check out the conditions. I haven't got much internet here, so